3 days ago, I couldn't get out of bed. I'm talking about that heavy, suffocating feeling where even reaching for your phone feels like climbing Mount Everest. Today, I'm here recording this video. And no, it wasn't because I suddenly chose happiness or found some miracle cure. If you've ever felt like you're drowning in your own mind, if you've ever had someone tell you to just think positive and wanted to throw something at them, this video is for you. Because I'm about to share what actually works when depression hits hard. Not the Instagram-worthy self-care tips, but the real, messy, sometimes unglamorous tools that have kept me afloat. 1. The reality check. Let me be brutally honest with you. When depression really takes hold, those Pinterest perfect morning routines and 10 ways to boost your mood articles feel like a slap in the face. You know what I'm talking about, right? When someone suggests you just go for a walk and you're like, I can't even brush my teeth without feeling exhausted. I've been there. The 3 a.m. anxiety spirals where your brain becomes your worst enemy, replaying every mistake you've ever made on repeat. I felt that crushing weight where even ordering takeout feels like an insurmountable task. I've canceled plans for the third time this month and felt the guilt eating away at me. I've sat in my car in the parking lot of the grocery store, unable to go in because the thought of making decisions about what to eat felt overwhelming. Have you ever experienced that moment when someone asks, "How are you?" and you want to scream, "I'm drowning," but instead you smile and say, "I'm fine"? Yeah, me too. Too many times to count. But here's what I've learned over the years of navigating this journey. Depression isn't a character flaw. It's not laziness, and it's not something you can just snap out of. It's a real condition that requires real tools. And today, I want to share the ones that have actually worked for me. 2. The framework. I organize my coping tools into 3 levels, depending on how deep I am in the depression pit. Because let's be real, what works when you're mildly down doesn't work when you're in the absolute depths, right? Level 1. Barely hanging on tools, for when you can barely function. Level 2. Functional but struggling tools, for when you're upright but everything feels heavy. Level 3. Building back up tools, for when you're climbing out but afraid to trust the progress. Think of it like this. You wouldn't use the same life jacket for a kiddie pool in the middle of the ocean. Depression requires different tools for different depths. Level 1. Barely hanging on. Let me take you back to last Tuesday. I woke up at 2 p.m., not because I wanted to sleep in, but because I had spent the previous night lying awake until 7 a.m., my mind racing with thoughts I couldn't shut off. When I finally got up, I stood in my kitchen staring at dirty dishes that had been there for 3 days. The thought of washing them felt impossible. The thought of living with them felt unbearable. That's the depression catch-22 that I know you've experienced too. Here's what I did instead of fighting it or beating myself up about it. The 5-minute rule. I told myself, I can't clean my entire kitchen, but I can pick up 5 things. Not wash them, not organize them perfectly, just pick up 5 things. You know what happened? I picked up 5 things, and then I walked away. That's it. No guilt, no, I should do more. Just 5 things. Sometimes I pick up 5 things and find myself doing 10. Sometimes I pick up 3 and call it a victory. Both are okay. The point isn't to trick yourself into cleaning everything. It's to prove to your brain that you can still do something, anything. What's your version of 5 things? Maybe it's answering 2 texts instead of the 47 unread messages. Maybe it's putting 1 clean shirt in your closet instead of living out of the laundry basket. What would your 5 things be today? Survival eating. Can we talk about food for a minute? When I'm in level 1, cooking feels like performing surgery. The decision fatigue of what to make, the energy required to prepare it, the cleanup afterward, it's all too much. So I keep what I call my depression pantry. Protein bars, instant oatmeal, pre-made smoothies, crackers with peanut butter, food that requires zero preparation and zero cleanup. And before you come at me with, but that's not healthy, let me stop you right there. You know what's not healthy? Not eating because the thought of cooking is too overwhelming. I remember one particularly rough week when I ate nothing but peanut butter sandwiches and apples for 4 days straight. Did I get the optimal nutrition? No. Did I keep my body fueled so my brain could start functioning again? Yes. And that's what mattered. Your survival foods might be different than mine. Maybe it's frozen dinners. Maybe it's ordering from the same restaurant every time because you don't have to think about it. Whatever keeps you fed without adding stress is the right choice. The phone a friend safety net. I have 3 people who know my code words. When I text them, I'm in the weeds, they know exactly what that means. Not, come fix my life, or give me advice, but I need you to know I'm struggling and I might need you to check on me. My friend Sarah knows that when I text her, the fog is thick today, she doesn't need to solve anything. She just texts back something like, I see you, you're not alone. Sometimes that's all I need, just someone to witness that I'm struggling without trying to fix it. Do you have that person? If not, that's okay. Start with one person. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a counselor or therapist. But having someone who knows your code words can literally be life-saving. Micro-victories. This is huge. When you're in level 1, regular victories feel impossible, so we celebrate the micro ones. Brushing your teeth? Victory. Changing out of yesterday's clothes? Victory. Drinking a glass of water? Victory. Taking a shower? That's basically winning the Olympics. I keep a small notepad next to my bed, and on the hardest days, I write down these tiny victories. Brushed teeth, ate food, responded to mom's text. It sounds silly, but seeing those little wins in writing reminds me that I'm still functioning, even when it doesn't feel like it. Last month, I had a day where my only victory was, got out of bed to use the bathroom. And you know what? I wrote that down too, because when you're in the depths, even basic human functions require effort and deserve recognition. What micro-victory can you celebrate today? Seriously, pause this video and think about it. What's one tiny thing you've done today that took effort? Level 2. Functional, but struggling. Level 2 is tricky because you look fine from the outside. You're showered, you're dressed, you might even be at work or school. But inside, everything feels heavy, like you're wearing a weighted blanket made of exhaustion and sadness. I remember a day about 2 months ago when I had to give a presentation at work. From the outside, I was professional, prepared, articulate. Inside, I felt like I was performing through quicksand. Every word took effort. Every smile was forced. But I got through it. Here's what gets me through level 2. The minimum viable day. I ask myself, what's the smallest version of today that I can be proud of? Not what I should accomplish, not what I plan to accomplish, but what would make me feel okay about this day when I go to bed tonight. Sometimes it's attend my important meeting and buy groceries. Sometimes it's shower and do 1 load of laundry. The key is choosing before the day starts, so I'm not constantly moving the goalposts on myself. I write it down on a sticky note and put it somewhere I'll see it. When I accomplish those minimum viable tasks, I'm done. Anything else is bonus, not requirement. Routine anchors. I have 2 non-negotiables that happen no matter what. I make my bed every morning and I write down 3 things before I go to sleep. Not 3 things I'm grateful for. That feels forced when I'm struggling. Just 3 things that happened. Talked to coworker about project, ordered dinner, watched episode of show. These anchors aren't about productivity or self-improvement. They're about creating small pockets of consistency when everything else feels chaotic. They're proof that I can still keep commitments to myself, even tiny ones. What could your routine anchors be? Maybe it's making coffee the same way every morning. Maybe it's playing the same song when you get in your car. Small, consistent actions that ground you when the world feels unstable. The feeling inventory. This one changed everything for me. When I'm overwhelmed by emotions, I rate them on a scale of 1-10, then ask, what does this number need? Sadness at a 7? Maybe it needs me to cry it out to some sad music, or call a friend, or just acknowledge it without trying to fix it. Anxiety at a 9? Maybe it needs me to do breathing exercises, or go for a walk, or write down what's spiraling in my mind. Anger at a 6? Maybe it needs me to punch a pillow, or go for a run, or journal about what's really bothering me. The point isn't to make the feelings go away, it's to figure out what they need from me so they don't run the show. Strategic socializing. When I'm in level 2, I can be social, but I have to be strategic about it. Coffee dates over dinner parties. One-on-one conversations over group hangouts. Activities with clear end times over open-ended plans. I've learned to say things like, I can do lunch, but I'll need to leave by 2 p.m., or I'm up for coffee, but I'm not really in a talking mood today. Is that okay? Real friends understand. The ones who don't weren't really friends anyway. How do you navigate social situations when you're struggling? Do you isolate completely, or do you have strategies for showing up authentically? I'd love to hear your approach in the comments. Level 3, building back up. Level 3 is hopeful but scary. The fog is lifting, but you're afraid to trust it. You're starting to feel like yourself again, but you're terrified of sliding backward. This is where I am right now, actually. 2 weeks ago, I woke up and realized I was excited about something for the first time in months. Just a small thing. A new coffee shop was opening near my house. But that little spark of anticipation felt like finding water in a desert. Gradual re-engagement. I add one meaningful activity back per week. Last week, it was going to a friend's birthday party. This week, it's planning a small weekend trip. Next week, maybe I'll sign up for that pottery class I've been thinking about. The key is one thing at a time. Not, I'm feeling better, so I should say yes to everything and catch up on 6 months of avoiding life. That's a recipe for overwhelming yourself back into level 1. The setback plan. Because here's the truth, I always slide backward. Depression isn't linear. It's not like recovering from a broken leg where you progressively get better until you're healed. It's more like waves. Sometimes you're on the shore, sometimes you're underwater. So I have a setback plan. When I feel myself sliding back, I don't panic. I don't think I failed or I'm broken. I think, oh, I'm having a setback, and I activate my plan. 1. Go back to my level 1 tools without judgment. 2. Tell my support people what's happening. 3. Lower my expectations for everything until I stabilize. 4. Remind myself that this is temporary. Having a plan for setbacks removes the shame from them. They become weather patterns instead of personal failures. I hope we are following, taking notes, and jotting this down. If you are, kindly let me know in the comment section that, yes, you are. Energy management. This is crucial in level 3. I match activities to energy levels, not calendar demands. High energy day, that's when I tackle the challenging stuff. Low energy day, that's a maintenance day, basic tasks only. I've learned to ask myself, what does my energy level support today? Instead of, what do I need to accomplish today? It's a small shift that makes a huge difference. Progress tracking. I celebrate the comeback, even the small parts. I notice when I laugh at something genuinely funny. I notice when I don't have to force myself to shower. I notice when I'm looking forward to something instead of just getting through it. Progress isn't always forward momentum. Sometimes progress is staying stable. Sometimes it's sliding backward less far than you did last time. Sometimes it's asking for help sooner. What does progress look like for you? Is it getting out of bed easier? Is it enjoying music again? Is it feeling hopeful about the future? There's no wrong answer. Progress is personal. Now, let me tell you something important. Some days, none of this works. Some days, I do everything on this list and still feel like I'm drowning. Some days, I follow my own advice and still can't get out of bed. And that's okay. These aren't magic fixes. They're survival tools and building blocks. They're the life jacket that keeps you afloat while you figure out how to swim again. They're not supposed to cure depression because depression isn't something you cure. It's something you learn to live with and manage. The goal isn't to never feel depressed again. The goal is to have tools that work when you need them, and to know that you can survive the times when they don't. And here's something else I want you to know. Professional help isn't a failure. Therapy isn't giving up. Medication isn't weakness. They're tools in your toolkit, just like everything else I've shared today. I've been in therapy for 3 years, and it's been one of the most valuable investments I've ever made in myself. If you're thinking about getting professional help but you're scared or ashamed, please know that asking for help is one of the bravest things you can do. You wouldn't try to set a broken bone yourself. Mental health deserves the same professional care. Your turn. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know. What's your level 1 tool? What's the thing you do when you're barely hanging on? Let's build a resource for each other because we're all in this together. And here's another question. Which level are you at right now? There's no judgment here, just solidarity. Sometimes it helps to name where you are so you know which tools to reach for. If this video helped you feel less alone, if it gave you even one tool you can use, please subscribe. I make realistic mental health content. No toxic positivity, no miracle cures, just real tools for real people dealing with real struggles. Remember, you're not broken for struggling, and you're not weak for needing tools. You're human, and that's exactly enough. Depression might be part of your story, but it's not the whole story. You are more resilient than you know, more valuable than you feel, and more capable than depression tells you. Take it one day at a time, one tool at a time, one breath at a time. You've survived every bad day so far, and that's a pretty impressive track record. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. You're worth it. Don't forget to like, share this beautiful piece to your loved ones, subscribe, and tell me where you are watching from.